Howdy y'all, it's Angela. So, today is September 11th, 2020. It's been 19 years. Gosh, do you remember that day? I do. I was pregnant. I just found out not too long before that I was pregnant with my daughter, my only one. And my God, what a different world she's grown up in. Anyway, today is also an amazing historic day because our president has orchestrated a couple of normalization agreements with a few other countries, Bahrain, and let's see, we've got now United Arab Emirates, and there was somebody else, and now I feel a little dumb, but point being, he's doing so much in the Middle East that has never been done before, and the left is going to hate it, and I think it should be honored, and I'm not going to lie, I was in tears this morning. This is a beautiful moment, and I can't think of a better honor to everybody who lost their lives and the nation that we lost on September 11, 2001, and also the men who gave their lives, who were murdered and left to die in Benghazi in 2012. I think this is one of the most appropriate tributes that this president or anybody could ever give those people in humanity. This isn't just about normalizing it. This is about trade. This is about minimizing tensions and realizing that fossil fuel isn't going to be the way of the future. So they've got to start working together to figure things out, because Saudi's not going to have enough oil forever. Iran, they're not. So they've got to move forward. And the fact that they're willing to normalize relationships, the fact that they've come this far with this president and Jared Kushner. Let's give them props. Props where they're due. It's amazing. And I just can't say enough about it. He's been nominated now for twice, I guess, for two Nobel Peace Prizes. Whether he gets it or not, well, I don't know. I mean, Obama got one. I think Dana Perino said it on the 5. She said the participation trophy, Nobel Peace Prize that Obama got when he was elected president. The hopes and dreams participation trophy. Anyway, what our president has done is amazing, and I've been kind of waiting all day, to be honest, to see how Madam Drinker responded, because quite frankly, I mentioned this in my last video. This is really something that she should be congratulating and cheering the president for. This should not be a partisan thing. And the reason I say that is this was a passion project, by the way, for her father. Her father, as I mentioned in my last video, quote unquote, bucked the system. And this is the words used by the Jerusalem Post. Her father bucked his party. He bucked Roosevelt and Truman in order to support the Jewish Free State in the Palestinian lands. He wanted to turn the lands over from British control to the refugees. And it actually even goes back further than that. He worked with an early lobby group, actually. They're credited with being one of, if not the first group to lobby in Congress. They had rallies and stuff like we did with the Tea Parties, and not these violent things that they're calling rallies now. And they lobbied Congress hard, and they took out ads. They did a mass ad campaign, and they learned well from Edward Bernays in the Wilson administration and the Nazis, quite frankly. This is a time of propaganda and done well. Now we do it to the point where, anyway. One of the headlines, I'm going to read you one of these. It was 1943-44. The Bergsonites, the Bergson group was the lobbying group. The Bergsonites placed more than 200 advertisements in papers around the country with headlines such as, "How the hell are you sleeping? Is there something you could be doing to save millions of people from torture and death? And time races death. What are you waiting for?" Ads attracted significant attention. On occasion, the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, complained that one of the ads was hitting below the belt. Bergeron replied that he was happy to hear that he is reading it and that it affects him. The First Lady complained for the president that it was hitting below the belt, and the Bergerons were happy that he was reading it and it affected him. These people were passionate about the cause. They did not believe that British control in the Palestinian region was right. They believed that it should belong, historically, biblically, to the Israelites, the Jewish nation. and they were doing everything in their power to rescue people and rehome them in the Palestinian land. I'm going to call it Israel. Stop it. Anyways, this was against British law. Tommy D'Alessandro Jr., Nancy Pelosi's dad, he really went against Roosevelt on this. He lobbied in Congress. He got a lot of support from people like Will Rogers Jr.'s son, whose dad, was the famous Will Rogers, the actor. He was part Native American. He had a problem with oppression, government oppression. There were several others. There was Catholics and Mormons and whatnot in Congress at the time who really the plight of the Jews resonated with them because of their own historic religious oppression and plights. And as we know, the Mormons and the Catholics in particular were not treated very well in the United States. So, the fact that Nancy Pelosi isn't out there congratulating the president, the fact that Nancy Pelosi isn't out there saying that, her father would be on it, use it to her own advantage, for God's sake. But the fact that she's not out there cheering this on when it was, honestly, one of her father's pivotal legacy, defining moments. It's part of his legacy. And he actually fought Truman on it as well, because as many of you may or may not know, in World War II, we didn't help the Jews so much because Roosevelt said that we couldn't do it while they were occupied, while they were occupied in Germany. And Tommy D'Alessandro had a problem with this. When Roosevelt passed away and Truman came on board, Truman went back and forth even after the end of the war about whether there should be a Jewish state, and Tommy D'Alessandro really pushed him on that as well. And they did some maneuvering in Congress to get some bills to his desk. For example, I think it was the leader of the Senate, whose name I don't recall, was really against moving the bill forward to support a Jewish state. One day he was out sick, so they maneuvered in Congress to bring the vote to the floor, and it passed, and it got to the desk of, the president's desk, so it was signed. A lot of maneuvering and finagling, politicking went into getting this bill passed and getting America to recognize the Jewish state. And the key was, if the United States recognized a Jewish state, it was going to be vital for its establishment, first of all, but to be recognized worldwide. And as we know, that it still, in some places, still hasn't even happened. And hopefully what the president has done today will change a lot of that. Maybe our maps will start to say Israel on them the way they should everywhere, not just where it's, we are humane. And I'm not suggesting there's not some problems with the Palestinian situation, but as the old saying goes, if the Palestinians put down their guns, there would be no war. If the Israelis put down their guns, there would be no Israel. So, everybody's got to take a little bit of responsibility. The countries that are signing on and working with the president and with Israel to normalize relations have also disavowed that this is in any way a betrayal to the Palestinians or the Palestinian people, the Palestinian government, Palestinian people. They're not buying into that. They're not. Okay. So, as I said, I really had waited most of the day to see if Madam Drinker, the day drinker, would actually make a comment, and she hasn't. So now it's almost 6 o'clock at night, and nothing. It's been about 5 hours since Trump's announcement, and nothing. So that's really unfortunate. I would also like to, before I go on, there's been an article that was published on the Gateway Pundit just a little bit ago about an attorney. And this actually does sort of feed into what's going on right now with Israel and Trump trying to pull troops out of Afghanistan. There's an attorney who is removing herself from the Durham campaign. I don't remember her name, and it doesn't really matter. She's irrelevant to any of us. We don't know this woman. If anything, if the name means anything, it only means something to inside political elites, Washington elites. We don't care. The reason that they're bringing up this story is saying that she's upset because there's pressure, political pressure, election pressure from William Barr to do whatever, doesn't matter. I think we need to look at this woman's background a little bit. They say she's a Trump foe. That's not even my biggest concern. I think the reason she's doing this, quite frankly, is if you look at her background, she is a military industry, weapons, the military industrial complex. She's an attorney for the military industrial complex. That's her bread and butter. She was asked by Durham, who, by the way, has asked hundreds of people to help on this investigation. She's not singled out. She's not special. He wasn't looking for some anti-Trump lawyer to, be a plant in the whole mix or whatever. He asked her because he respected her, because he used to work with her, years ago. She came out of her private practice, working for the defense industry, to work on this case. She's got some problems. She's deciding to leave. I believe her problems have more to do with the politics of her bread and butter career when she leaves the when the investigation is over and she returns back to private practice than she does with any Trump situation or with William Barr. Again, this is just my speculation, but everything is about timing, is it not? And it's just a little silly to me. Why does it have to be a big announcement? Who cares? A lawyer's leaving. So what? Lawyers come and go from investigations all the time. Anyway, so that's my thoughts. Please like, share, subscribe. You guys are doing great at, helping me grow the channel, and I'm really, really grateful. I'm not feeling great right now, so I'm going to cut this pretty short. And if you want more details, I'll be happy to give them. But I think I do better when I don't try to read. What do you guys think? So, God bless America. I haven't been this proud of, actually, when Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down the wall, when the wall came down, I was proud, but I didn't have the appreciation that I do 21 years later. Has it been 21 years, 20 years later? I think it was 16, 17 when he said that. 17, 18 when the wall came down. I'm 47 today. I haven't been this proud of an American president in my lifetime that I could appreciate. Ronald Reagan should have been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for what he did with the Cold War. Let's hope they don't rob President Trump. Thanks, guys. Have a good one, and have a great weekend. I hope to do a video tomorrow, but honestly, I don't really feel so good, so we'll see what happens. Most important, talk to your kids about politics before somebody else does. Okay. Follow me on Parler, at Mother Issues on Parler. I am Angela. Have a good one.